What's up, comic book fans? And welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ what they call me. And today, we got more Blood Hunt. This time with the 5th and final issue of the Blood Hunt series. And if you guys missed any other parts of this event or this series, then I'll place a card at the top of your screen and a link at the end of the video to both of the playlists. But when we last left off with this series, Varnae had finally revealed his true identity to the Black Panther. Then, once he'd accessed his Temple of the First Blasphemy, he wound up gaining access to all of the Dark Force, turning him into pretty much a god. But not only that, we saw the god Khonshu get freed from prison in Asgard and reawakening Moon Knight. And last but not least, we saw Dr. Doom begin his plans of saving the world at the cost of Doctor Strange relinquishing his role of Sorcerer Supreme. So if you guys are ready to find out how this event comes to an end, and who will be the hero of this thing, plus what happens to Blade after all of this ends, then you guys know what time it is. Let's get it. So we kicked this issue off back in Latveria, right after Doom told Strange that he'd need to become Sorcerer Supreme in order to save the world. And right now, Clea chastises Doom for maneuvering this way. But Doom responds that only he possesses the knowledge of the ritual to turn back the darkness. But he can't enact without being Sorcerer Supreme. And it's the job of the Sorcerer Supreme to save the world, which is what Doom plans on doing. And Steven agrees with him, telling Clea that Doom is right, and that he's finally outmaneuvered Strange. And then we pick up in Central Park, New York, as the Avengers assemble and take the fight to Varnae and his blood coven. And when it all kicks off, the first thing Vision does is break Wanda free. And now with the Scarlet Witch finally back on the side of the Avengers for the first time since the first issue of this series, it's up now. And all that's on her mind is revenge. Thor, though, has history with Varnae that dates all the way back to over 1,000 years. So he steps up to the plate to challenge him god to god. But while those two get ready to battle, we switch over to Iron Man, who wants Wanda to cast the Montesi formula now, but she refuses. Never again will she use her power to wipe out an entire people. And that's what will happen with the Montesi formula. It doesn't discriminate, good, vamp, or bad. It just wipes them all out. But Bloodstorm 1 overhears Wanda's reluctance to use the formula and calls them weak for it. Just as he grabs Vision and brutally rips off one of his arms, and then straight up tosses him right back at Wanda. Meanwhile, back in Latveria, Doom informs the Strangers that the Avengers have engaged Varnae and his coven, and Khonshu is dispatching his dead acolytes around the world to fight the vampires. But none of it will be enough, as he reaches his hand out to Steven to accept his title. But rightfully so, Doctor Strange is reluctant to give up the title of Sorcerer Supreme, and he makes Doom prove his plans are noble by demanding Doom's word that once the world is saved, he will return to Strange what is his. And without hesitation, Doom gives that word, which is good enough for Steven, who begins the process of transferring a fragment of his own living soul to Doom to bond to his own, just as he had did for Clea back when he died recently. And I can't lie, y'all, when I saw this exchange between Doom and Strange, all I could think about was, what in the hell are you doing, Strange? No, don't do it. But he did. And now it's done, as now Doom is the new Sorcerer Supreme. And then we pick up with Brielle and Dracula in Manhattan as they stand over a horde of fallen vampires, in a pretty sick pose as they overlook the city and the structure that Varnae has brought back to Central Park. And just as Dracula tries to see if Brielle still has the nerve to do what needs to be done, she reassures him that she's definitely game. But then Miles Morales shows up, asking if Brielle is really planning on taking out her own father. And as she tries to explain to Miles, he tells her that he actually understands, but he wants to make sure that she's gonna be okay. But she tells Miles that she's a cold, sharp blade, and it was Blade that made her that way. And he knows that a blade's job is to cut. Then we pick back up with Varnae as he's now got the upper hand on Thor, telling him that he hates him the most of all the Avengers. And the rest of them are merely children of the 20th century. But he and Thor are eternal, and only they understand what it means to see the end of a world. But Thor rebuts with a lightning bolt that frees him from Varnae's dark force grasp. Meanwhile, Iron Man tries to get Ms. Marvel to blast through the sky to open up some sunlight. But she can't do it right now because the dark force is just way too thick right here where they are. In fact, she's not even sure she can fly through it. Vision, meanwhile, still has a little bit of solar energy left, and he uses some of it to blast Damascene, just as he's about to cut through Iron Man's armor. But Vision's power cells are severely drained and he doesn't have much left, but he offers to use it to hold off the Blood Coven. But then a surprise visitor tells him that he won't have to do it alone, as Moon Knight shows up declaring that he's back and he's brought friends. And then we pick back up with Doom as he walks the Strangers to meet with the students of the Strange Academy in that scene that we had saw in the finale of their Blood Hunt tie-in series. And Doom begins the ritual of merging all of their magics and demanding everything of them. But back with the Avengers fight, Moon Knight helps Vision take down Bloodstorm 1. But when Moon Knight tells Vision to hit him with his solar energy, Vision is tapped out and he's got nothing left, giving Cruel the opportunity to take advantage. And he wraps up Moon Knight and Vision in his tentacles, while Bloodstorm 1 regathers himself and then taunts both Moon Knight and Vision, threatening to drink their blood while they watch as their master Varnae triumphs. And as we see that Varnae's new Dark Force powers make him super OP, he easily handles the entire Avengers team by himself. He's drawing the power of an entire dimension, and he's getting stronger every moment. As he then boasts how he only had one weakness, and that was Blade's daughter Bloodline, who's not even here right now. But just as he continues to drag the Avengers, his statement of Bloodline not being there is immediately corrected as she joins the party and leaps in with her blade and places it right into Varnae's chest, screaming that she's here to save her dad. But Varnae replies to her that it's too late, and she's no longer enough. His possession of Blade has gone on for far too long, and now this body belongs to Varnae, and not Blade. And since Brielle is Blade's bloodline and not his, then her effect on his is nothing at all. But as he brags about her not being of his bloodline, someone else joins in and tells Varnae, then how about the both of us, as Miles Morales is revealed and helps Brielle finish driving that blade into Varnae. You turned me into a vampire, Miles tells him. So that means that he is of Varnae's bloodline. And it works, as the Dark Force starts to dissipate from his body. And then we switch back over to Latveria, as Doom tells everyone that Varnae's concentration has been broken and his control has been shaken. So now it's time for him to strike. And as Doom does his thing, we can see the magic starting to cut through the Dark Force and reverse it. Meanwhile, back with the Avengers fight, Wanda uses this moment to release Varnae from the body of Blade. And now Blade is free from his possession, and Brielle runs to him to apologize for what she's done. But Blade tells her that she did exactly what he taught her to do, and she did right. Then Ms. Marvel sends Thor and Cap to go and help out Vision and Moon Knight, while she has Wanda lock down Varnae, and Tony and T'Challa work on keeping Blade alive. But that's not a problem for Tony, who has a crash cart built into his suit, and Blade's gonna be okay, besides one more nasty scar. But then Cap notifies the rest of the team that the Blood Coven took off as soon as Varnae went down. But Wanda notifies everyone that they've got Varnae under control and Blade has been stabilized. Then as Ms. Marvel takes to the skies, she notices that the Dark Force is starting to recede. But she's not sure if it's from what they just did or what Strange is doing. But they've won as the sun starts to shine through now. And then we go back to Latveria with Doom and Strange, as Strange congratulates Doom on a job well done, and then he requests for Doom to return the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme back to him. But Doom just looks at Strange, and then he acknowledges his oath to surrender the office of the Sorcerer Supreme back to Strange once he saved the world. But he's only just begun, he tells Doctor Strange. And Doom does nothing halfway, as he then simply casts Strange away and then says that he will show him what it means to save the world. As we then switch back over to Miles, as he embraces the sunlight and then remembers that he's a vampire and the sun should be his enemy. But nothing happens, as Dracula then tells Miles that the sun has lost its sting, and it would appear that the vampires have a new dawn ahead of them. And then he tells Miles that, like it or not, Varnae's blood runs through the both of them. But now, for the first time, the children of the night need not fear the day. And then when Miles asks how that's possible, Dracula replies that when you save the world owes you a debt. But then back with the rest of the Avengers, Ms. Marvel tells the team that there's no time for them to rest, since it's still nighttime for half the world, and that they need to move. But then Iron Man lets them know that he's receiving a priority broadcast that's going out to every screen on the planet right now. And as he plays the broadcast for the team, the message says that the vampire threat is over, and this world, our world, is safe once more. And you have but one man to thank: Earth's new, superior Sorcerer Supreme, Victor Von Doom. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the issue and the series. And pretty much this event, but we still got Midnight Suns coming as the epilogue. But also coming in November, we get a Doom series called One World Under Doom. But what did you guys think about the issue and the series? I thought it was pretty damn dope, honestly. Although I can't believe how dumb Doctor Strange is in making Doom give an open-ended oath like that, saying that he'd give back the Sorcerer Supreme when he finished saving the world. I kind of feel like Strange deserves to get played like that for being a straight-up goofy. But I also feel like Marvel set this up perfectly with the announcement of Robert Downey Jr. coming back to the MCU to play Doom, just as he ends up wrapping up this event, kind of like Norman Osborn did with Secret Invasion. And I'm talking about the comic book event Secret Invasion, not that whack-ass series that the MCU gave us that I'll never forgive them for. I love the MCU, but Secret Invasion is my all-time favorite event, and they straight up ruined it. So now when I talk Secret Invasion with my non-comic book reading homies, they don't really rock with it. But with this Blood Hunt event now, man, y'all, the repercussions from this event are kind of major. Now the vampires are daywalkers? That's crazy. Because it kind of feels like that cancels out what makes Blade so special. So I'm wondering what they have planned for this new vampire rule. But aside from that, y'all, I absolutely can't wait for that new Doom series. It's up. That's finna slap, I think. But you guys know I want to hear all your thoughts and theories down in the comments about how this all went down and how you would have done it differently if you didn't like how it went down. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and this channel and you'd like to support the channel, then you can do so by stopping by the Comics Icon store and picking you up some Comics Icons merchandise, including the background music heard right here in this video, available for download. Or by joining the Iconic Fan Club channel membership, and there'll be a link in the description to join. But with your membership, your voice will be heard during our interactive live streams with yours truly, where we could talk about everything that's been going down in these issues, as well as ones that you'd like for me to go over in the future and other comic news. Plus, you guys will get loyalty badges, members shoutouts, and up to 20% off of Comics Icons merchandise from the Comics Icons store. Plus, we got tiers to the memberships as well, beginning at just 99 cents. Or you guys can donate to the channel with a super thanks. And if you're not able to do any of that, then you can still be a tremendous help to this channel's future by dropping a like, share, and subscribing to Comics Icons for more icons in the comic book world. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. I'm out. Peace.